Hi guys, it's Sharon White. I'm coming to you from my stamp room today on this Saturday. I just made a bunch of these cards with my new to me Dreamweavers stencil called Wood Grove, and with this awesome little snowshoe stamp from Northwoods that I got from one of our members in our group. And I'm sure you all know I made a whole bunch of these, and some of you were interested in a video, so I'm going to sit down and make you hopefully a quick video. Let's get started. Okay, so here are all my random assortment of some brushes, my inks, my red for the bird. So let me just get set up. I'm going to lay my stencil right on there and attach it to my nice new craft mat. My other one was so beaten up. It was almost embarrassing, but not really. So I'm just going to take this down and then I'm going to stand up and check to be sure that I'm right in the center of my camera shot. Yep, that's good. I might expand it just a hair. Okay, so I'm going to start with Chip Sapphire Distress Oxide, and I am going to use my brushes. Actually, I just remembered I had cut the masks, and by cutting the mask first and attaching it, it reminds me to not go further down on my stencil so that I have room for these beautiful hills. All right, here we go. There's a little bit of purple left on this, but that's okay. It'll be pretty. It's actually very pretty. I feel like this is just a random makeup brush. It's not one of the, you know, this kind that we're all crazy about. And these are just from, these oval ones are from Amazon. This is one I picked up at the local pharmacy a while back. And, you know, it's not wonderful, but it's good enough. All right, so there's that. I kind of made it a little bit darker in those upper corners. And now I'm going to use, actually, before I get going any further, I'm going to put in a little bit of my fossilized amber, kind of down here. I like a little bit of the sun, like down here, right above the tree line, or the slope. Let me set that aside. That's that one. That's that. So now let's do a little blueprint sketch. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Let's test that out. I guess that's all right. So doing a little bit heavier on the sides. I'm bringing a little bit of it up into the Chip Sapphire. Yeah. And making it quite a bit lighter as I go toward that bit of sun. Oh, how awesome is that? Oh my goodness. There's a hair on there. I'm gonna add a little bit of this over this. Okay, so that's quite heavily coated, but that looks good. So let me remove remove my mask. I'm pretty much done with the stencil at this point. How beautiful is that? This is covered with ink. I'll try to remember to show you what I did with it the last time. But here's my little mask. Now, I want to do this in a way, I don't want to get a ton of color here. Let me look through my little packet of landscape masks. I don't want to get, what I want to do is just add a little bit of color just along the edge of this, but I don't want it to go very far up into the stencil part. So I'm using this little teeny weeny brush. And this might be fine. Just going to pick up some of that, a little bit of residue of color. All I want is to do just a little hint of the blue. Probably fussing more than I need to with that. Okay, well that's cool. All right, so I didn't need these after all. What I was looking in these for was to do this to kind of block the stencil and then just do this, but I didn't really need that. So then I have this. I think I like my snowshoes on this side. So I want to create a little dip for my snowshoes. And then again, I'm kind of, you know, doing it mostly on my strip of mask. Darn it, look at that. Oh well, I'll be trimming this down anyway. And then we'll just make another little shadow of snow. Okay, so that looks good. All right, let me set these aside. There goes my sponge for that. Okay, so now I'm going to use walnut ink, and I'm going to place these little lines at the bottom as close to this little ridge here. Now, I wish I hadn't done it quite so close to the edge, because that's the edge that I was going to trim off. But I should be all right. So basically, now I'm using my teeny tiny little brush, which is just a little bit wet, to move that ink to make the snowshoes a little more defined. I don't snowshoe. I've never snowshoed in my life. All right. So then I'm going to take this same brush, but it's got quite a bit more water on it, and wet that and then kind of create the shadow. And then I'm gonna actually pick up a little more brown. Okay, so that's good for that. And then I'm using a red. I mean, my poor little birdie ended up on a very dark blue place, which is too bad. So I'm just going to add the red. I might let that dry, and I might add a little more, a little brown to it to tone it down a hair. But basically, that's it. I mean, how cool is that? Here's another little detail I added on some of my later cards. I used my distress marker in pumice stone to just put a little bit of gray, because I'm thinking maybe these snowshoes have a little bit of metal. I don't know what these pieces and parts are on it, but I'm thinking it's some sort of fastener and just a little added touch. And then I'll use my, this is vintage photo, I don't think it matters. I just want to add a little brown to my bird and use my tiny brush to kind of blend that in a little. Okay, and make that red stand out a little more. Okay, well, I'm not going to mess anymore with it. I think that's pretty awesome. So how quick and easy is that? And basically what I will do is trim it down so it has just a very narrow white border, and that should remove this mess here, and it'll also fit onto a card base so that a little bit of the card base color will show. So that's that for that one. I'm going to turn off the camera and get set up for the next card that I said I would make a video of. So thanks for watching.